Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
What is going on, y'all? I hope you can hear me. Welcome to the Mission Ready Men Weekend Debrief, where faith in God is the standard and masculinity is not toxic. Today is Saturday, May 9th, in the year of our Lord 2026. And we, we have a lot that we are going to be talking about and reacting to. So buckle up. But before we get into it, real quick, please hit like and subscribe and share the show, share the channel, help us get out of the big tech tyrants algorithm chokehold. Growth is still happening. We're still growing. So thank you all for all of that. But it slowed down a little bit. So we would like for everyone, if they could, to go ahead and share the show and help us get the word out. Also, check me out on the individual Mission Ready Men channel. We are at 966 subscribers. So I would appreciate it if you would help us get to that 1,000 subscribers so that we can get the word out to as many people as we possibly can. And also a quick programming scheduling note. The Mission Ready Men briefing is moving. Normally we are at 11 a.m. Central on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will be starting on May 19th. We will be moving to 8 p.m. Central. So 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, same time slot as my good friend Jersey Joe, just on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My schedule is changing, and that's just going to make doing the show at 11 in the morning just not feasible. And the product is not going to be good. So we're moving, and so be sure to check out the show at its new time on May 19th at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And I look forward to seeing you all there. All right, let's get after it, because we got we got a lot to talk about. And AOC, let's just go ahead and dive right in. AOC is saying AOC things again. Now, she was away from the cameras for a little bit, and I thought that she was going away and preparing for her presidential run. We saw her in Europe. I forget exactly where it was, where she was trying to test out her foreign policy chops and failed miserably. And so she stepped away from the spotlight for a minute, but she's back. She's back in all her idiotic glory, and she said some really, really stupid things in the span of, I don't know, 12 hours. She packed a lot of stupid in that time. So let's take a look at the first one, because it's just too good. It's just too good. So let's, here we go. let's go ahead and dive into this.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power, you can break rules, you can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws,
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth,
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
And
right.
so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it. There's
Where to begin? Just where to begin? AOC is somebody who hasn't built anything, hasn't run anything, hasn't created anything other than the myth of her being halfway intelligent. That is a complete myth. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all the billionaires out there that have created something. I mean, tell that to Elon Musk, who created a rocket and a mechanism to land it back on its platform so that it can be reused. Elon Musk has created he's created, so however you feel about his implants that are allowing people to paraplegics to walk again and quadriplegics to be able to do things with their minds on computers and stuff like that. Just, he created those things. And if he wasn't specifically involved in programming those particular things, he provided the capital, he provided the inspiration for other people to do that. And so he's not exploiting any labor laws. He's providing value, and he deserves to be compensated for that value. Whatever the market determines that is. He's probably going to end up being a trillionaire in the next couple of years. And more power to him. And she said something else later on with David Axelrod talking about how most people don't aspire to be billionaires. And that's probably true. Billionaire is probably something that people don't generally aspire to unless they're, who knows? But Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all the rest of the billionaires who have created businesses that provide real value, they earned it. And to say otherwise is just shows your complete ignorance on everything. And what is her claim to fame? She hasn't even done anything in Congress. Her biggest accomplishment in Congress is the Green New Deal, the Green New Scam, the Green New Fraud, which was a resolution. It wasn't any binding legislation at all. She hasn't created any legislation in her current position. She's ridiculous. But it gets better, because she said something else that also shows her complete ignorance. Oh, there's quite a few, and that was the wrong one. She actually said that Black people created the democracy under which we currently live. Created, not help build, not not were instrumental in changing or revising or anything. No, built. She's an idiot. But this is what I really wanted to show, because this one, yeah. Wow. Nope, that wasn't it. My bad. I have so many clips of AOC and all the rest of these morons. And I'm not sure where that one went. And that is too bad, because it is brilliant. But she basically said that the American Revolution was fought to overthrow the billionaires of their time. Yeah, this is a shorter version of it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it in. And then we'll talk about it.
The American Revolution was against the billionaires of their time. And we are declaring independence from such an extreme marriage of wealth and power and the state. The American Revolution was against.
She is just so completely wrong and ignorant. I mean, you learned what the American Revolution was about in what? Junior high, maybe even earlier. But anyone with the most basic understanding of the American Revolution knows that that is absolutely not true. They were fighting because there's a meme that says George Washington crossed the Delaware because the king taxed his tea at 3%. It was about taxation without representation and a few other things. It had nothing to do with the billionaires of the time. And King George was not, the source of his power was not his wealth. The source of his power was that it was believed he was divinely placed in the position of king. That his power was from God. He was wealthy for his time, obviously, but he wasn't the wealthiest. And the billionaires, the really wealthy people of the time in this country at that point, they funded the revolution. She's just completely devoid of all understanding. She's just ignorant. She's just completely ignorant. So AOC doing AOC things. I'm just going to leave that there because we could go on and on. David Axelrod at the end of that clip, when she was talking about the American Revolution, was like, yeah, I don't think Thomas Jefferson, when he was writing about this at Monticello, was really thinking that, because what she said comes from a Marxist worldview. And Thomas Jefferson was not, none of the founders were coming at this from a Marxist worldview. They wanted independence. I really hope that she does throw her hat in the ring and runs for president in 2028. I really do. I would so much love to see a debate between her and J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, because they would absolutely destroy her in a debate. Absolutely destroy her in a debate, because she clearly knows absolutely nothing. All right, let's. I want to move on. I want to talk about something else. I talked about this a little bit in the last show. And there were some things that I wanted to get to then that I didn't. And so we're going to talk about it now. And that is Spencer Pratt and his debate performance. And I know it was close to a week ago now, but Spencer Pratt is pretty much rewriting the book on how to run a campaign. Because he is, if all things were equal, he would be running away with this election right now. But because Karen Bass, because California is just completely corrupt, and because Karen Bass is the incumbent and has all the backing behind her for some reason, it's an uphill battle for him. But he is absolutely killing it. And he is creating a blueprint, I think, for how candidates can run a successful campaign. And the fact that he's doing this on a shoestring budget, and I saw something, I haven't had a chance to vet it yet, but I saw something that said that he doesn't have a campaign manager or staff in the same way that other candidates have. And a lot of the AI things that you're seeing apparently are just being created by people who want to see him get elected. He hasn't paid for a lot of this stuff. So he is, especially if he wins, this will be the blueprint going forward, because it is masterful. But I want to get back to his debate performance for a second. And we are gonna, if I have time, we're gonna get into some of his other stuff that's on social media right now. But I want to get into this one right here, because, and this is a longer clip, and I'm going to stop it and comment on it here and there. But this was one of the best 2.5 minutes of a debate that I've seen in a long time. He just completely destroyed these people. So let's go ahead and get into this right now.
Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is, no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem.
That's something that we have known about the homeless issue for a long, long time. Excuse me. That's something that we've known for a long time. And he's just spitting facts right now. But let's continue.
Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say, 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
So, Councilmember.
And I think it's Raman that he was just talking about is about to try and refute the fact that she's in the same league with Karen Bass, which is completely untrue. They both have the same ideology. They both have the same ideas. They just want the power that comes with being the mayor of LA, which is a very powerful position, a very powerful position. But let's continue this here.
Raman, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I want to just say to everybody who's watching today, you're going to watch today as Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt attack me because they want to run against each other in the general election. Each of them thinks that running against each other is what's going to help them win. And they don't want to run against me because my ideas, which are based on real results in my district, which are based on real data, a real analysis of the system, and a focus on accountability and using every dollar as effectively as possible, which we have done in my district. I want to take this citywide. This is why this is happening today.
Councilmember,
Every district in LA right now is a complete failure. There isn't a leftist alive who can spend a dollar effectively. They will throw good money after bad and pocket the rest. But let's listen to Spencer Pratt's response to this, because it's pretty good.
We're out of time. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to respond to this.
I would
Mr.
love
Pratt,
to
I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Mayor Bass.
First off, Mayor Bass and I are definitely not working together. I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down. I am not working with Mayor Bass. Second off, if I wanted to run against anybody, it would be the council member who is terrible. Mayor Bass has at least been a mayor for almost 4 years and has, as she talked about earlier, the unions, all the unions endorse Mayor Bass. You think it's easier to run against the incumbent mayor with all the unions or a random city council member who's been a failure for 6 years? I would much rather run against Councilwoman Rahman. Thank you very much. Very much. So, Rahman,
I mean, the guy is just, he's just talking common sense. He's not a polished politician. He's not, he didn't come up in this. He wasn't trained in any of this. He's just pissed. He's pissed because his house burned down and the mayor and everyone involved in the city governance was completely absent. Karen Bass was told before she left for, I think it was Ghana, where she went during the Palisades fire. She was told before she left that the weather was going to be bad, the fires were kicking up, and it was going to be bad. People wanted her not to go, but she went anyway. And then in the debate, she lied about the weather conditions. And Spencer Pratt is just a guy who, you know what, he's had enough, and he wants to do something about it. And good for him. Good for him. There was he did an interview. I think it was on the radio, and the interviewer tried to do a gotcha on him, saying that he was trying to create this illusion that the wealthy people were making out, and he was trying to say that he wasn't wealthy, but he really was. Let's take a look at it, because he, once again, he put on a clinic on how to deal with these people.
Clearly, it's resonating with people. It shows the mayor's residence, it shows Nithya Rahman's home, and it shows your trailer. Clearly a statement on political elites and the disparities in the city. But, I mean, the reality is you are relatively wealthy. You have access to another...
Wait, stop right now. Why am I... You know my bank account?
Not specifically.
How do you know how much money I have? Because I don't feel like I'm wealthy at all. I feel like I lost everything in my home. Everything I ever worked for, I invested into that home. So to be clear, I'm not wealthy at all.
You have access to another home, and I don't mean to ask the residency question because you've responded to that.
I'm renting that other home with my California Fair Plan insurance money.
Does it?
Just to stop you, I'm not wealthy. Wealthy people are a whole nother tier, and I do not identify as a wealthy person. So Nithya Rahman is a millionaire. Her husband is a multi-millionaire.
But does it try to sell an image that isn't the full picture, is the question.
The full picture, I'm standing in the house that's not there anymore because these people let it burn down. There's no manipulation there. If I was wealthy enough to rebuild, I'd already be rebuilding. I wouldn't be running for mayor because I would have just been like another rich, wealthy person, said, oh, the city can burn my house down, and now I'm just going to build a new one. But I don't have that opportunity. So I'm going to fight so other people that don't have that opportunity never feel what it feels like to not be wealthy and not be able to rebuild from scratch after you've lost everything because of these people that failed as leaders.
What do people not know about you? People
Clearly that I'm not wealthy. So thank you for helping with that one.
that zinger at the end was awesome. But he's just killing it. He's speaking from the heart, and he is making waves. And like I said earlier on, all things being equal, I think he would be absolutely running away with this race. There's there's one more. Actually, there's a couple of things I want to show you. I think because yeah, there was a brief moment in the a brief moment during the debate where he says he's not MAGA, but there was a brief moment in the debate where he was giving serious Trump vibes. And apparently I don't know anything about him other than he was on a reality show way back in the day. But apparently he's a really funny guy and clearly charismatic and clearly not an idiot. And so, but there was a moment during the debate that I just thought I thought it was hilarious. Some people actually thought it was disrespectful or whatever, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious. So check this out.
I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republican's idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Just that brief second and a half of him just completely mocking these leftists on the stage with him. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And one other quick clip, since we have some time. This one I mentioned to my wife the other day. My wife is fascinated by hummingbirds. We have a few hummingbird feeders around, and whenever the hummingbirds come around, it's a holiday. She loves it. And so there's a clip, or there are a number of clips. I guess before the fire, he had a number of clips. His content was a lot of him feeding hummingbirds and stuff like that. And so I just thought this was pretty cool. So check this one out. Just chilling with the hummingbirds, feeding them. I thought it was cool. You may not. You may think that was a waste of a clip, but I don't care. It's my show. I do what I want. But yeah, Spencer Pratt, he is calling these people out. He's making waves, and I think he is going to be a thorn in everyone's side right up until November. And I hope and pray that he wins. Not so much for California, but I mean, I feel for the people of California and the people in LA who are dealing with this nonsense. But on the other hand, they voted for it. They voted for it. And I suspect that he may not have voted for it. But enough people voted for it, and this is the result of those horrible votes. And the only question is it bad enough yet? Is it bad enough yet? If they think it's bad enough, he'll win. But if not enough people think it's bad enough, and because California is corrupt, let's just put that out there. It's corrupt. I believe Gavin Newsom's recall was rigged. I believe he legitimately lost that election, but it was rigged, and he was able to survive it. I don't have evidence of that, obviously. That's just my opinion. Do with it what you will. But California is very obviously a corrupt state. I believe they rigged elections, and I believe that they'll rig this one if not enough people who think it is bad enough turn out and vote. And Republicans are notorious, absolutely notorious for not turning out to vote in midterm elections. And that's what leads to all of this nonsense in these blue states. And why even in some of the red states, some of these things are too close for comfort. So I'm praying for Spencer Pratt. I hope that he wins, and I hope that he can actually do something in LA to turn it around, and maybe lead the way for California to have a comeback. The only way that's going to happen is if God moves and decides he's had enough of California. But we'll see. We'll see. I did have a feel-good video that I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if you follow non-essential commentary on X, Steve Inman. His videos are absolutely hilarious. And I saw, it's playing right now, sorry. I'm gonna show it to you here in a second. His videos and his commentary are just some of the best stuff on X right now, honestly. But this one is absolutely hilarious, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show it to you. Perhaps you've seen it. If you haven't, get ready.
Court-fed Fred coming out of the Regal Beagle bar. Now he's wondering if the alcohol's kicking in as he spots something off in the distance. And of course, it's Pookie the crackhead once again. Comes out of nowhere and lands in the perfect spot. Parks his ass right into the handicap zone. Man, talk about having your head on a swivel. Nowadays, you just never know whether you're going to come out of a bar and get attacked by a crazy messy zombie. And all you're trying to do is take your woman out on the town just for a night at the Regal Beagle. And then this happens. And now it's time to add Pookie to the Ludicrous Hall of Fame.
Bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. Oh, bitch.
Oh, man. That dude got rocked. I don't know what the backstory is behind it. All I know is he was not getting up for a minute. And and I suspect that he deserved that shoulder block. I don't know. What did you think? I thought it was absolutely hilarious. All right, we're just going to go ahead and power through this because we have a lot to get to. I had stuff in a particular order, but I'm gonna do this because I don't know if you know who David Pakman is. You probably don't. He's not. He's a left-wing podcaster. Has a fairly popular show in left-wing circles. He is he's a hardcore leftist, dyed in the wool leftist, Marxist, communist, all the all the leftist descriptors, he's them. And he tries to come off as this moderate. He tries to come off as this really, really good spokesman for leftist values and stuff like that. But he's just a left-wing lunatic. And here he is saying something that it falls right in line with what's happening right now with the rhetoric on the left and how they feel about their political opponents. And I don't know, perhaps you've seen it, perhaps not. Perhaps you know who he is, perhaps not. But this should be disturbing to a lot of you. And it will call back, it called back for me something that Hillary Clinton said, but go ahead and check this out.
What on earth do we do with the Trump supporters once Donald Trump is gone? We have to figure it out. Now, at some point, whether it's sooner or later or kind of soon or, whenever, the Trump era is going to end. Trumpism may continue. We don't know yet. The damage from Trump will last beyond Donald Trump's presidency. But at some point, Trump will be gone. And when that happens, there is a question that it doesn't seem a lot of people are thrilled to be dealing with, but we're going to have to deal with it, which is what do we do with the tens of millions of people who voted for Donald Trump, sometimes not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now, I am not talking about the elected officials. I'm talking about regular voters, your neighbor, your cousin, the guy at the gym, the parent at your kid's school. Do we treat them like they simply made a political mistake? Or do we treat them like they participated in something so corrosive to democracy that we can no longer see them in a normal way anymore? I think.
Do we treat them as if they participate in something so corrosive that they can't be treated like normal people anymore? That's what he's saying. So what do you do with people like that? I know that's the question he asked, but there is an answer. There is an answer. You put them in camps. You put them in re-education camps, which is something that has been floated. I think even he may have floated that at one point back in the day. Excuse me. But Hillary Clinton actually said something very similar. And she was talking to Christiane Amanpour, who is a left-wing propagandist from CNN. And well, let's just go ahead and listen to this.
Of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen. And how do you do?
A formal deprogramming of the cult members. Now, what do you think she meant by that? What do you think she meant by that? And I think it was around the time that she said this, that David Pakman said something along the same lines about re-education camps. And I'm fairly certain that I mentioned it on my show when it happened, when she said this. They hate you. I say this all the time. They absolutely hate you. And they want nothing more than to be able to throw you into a re-education camp, concentration camp. Why do you think they are so hell-bent on disarming you? While their security gets to go run around fully armed, but you can't. Why do you think that is? Because if you are exercising your Second Amendment right, you can defend yourself against this madness. These are the people who are making the threats against the president. These are the people who are attempting to assassinate the president. These are the people who run over teenagers who beat them in debates. There was a case a couple of years ago in I believe it was Minnesota, where an 18-year-old Trump supporter got run over by a guy who disagreed with him politically, killed him. I mean, you can go down the list. And so that's where these people get these ideas from. And if you think I'm lying, let's just go ahead and get into this. Because Mark Hamill put out he's not on X, I think he put it out on Blue Sky. But he put out this image on Blue Sky. And it's a picture of Donald Trump in a grave, and it says, "If only." And notice the date, 2024. So obviously, he's saying if only the assassin had been successful in Butler. And he tries to clean it up here. It says he should live long enough to witness the inevitable devastating loss in the midterms. It's stuff like this. It's stuff like this that motivates and animates these people, these lunatics who want to kill the president and kill his supporters and anyone who disagrees with them. The evidence is clear. And he did a stupid video with Barack Hussein Obama talking about his presidential center. I had planned on playing it, but I'm not going to because I'm not really interested in seeing that ridiculousness. But yeah, these are the people. These are the people who put these ideas out there that other lunatics seize on and then do their dirty work. I mean, these left-wing lunatics are already hanging by a thread, hanging onto their sanity by a thread. And then you post stuff like this that feeds into their delusions. That's how you get 4 assassination attempts on the president. And yes, I'm blaming them. Absolutely. Yes, I blame the perpetrators, obviously. But Would they have taken some of these chances without this constant bombardment of left-wing violent rhetoric against the president and his supporters? Constant bombardment over the past 10, 11 years? Probably not. Probably not. All right. I do want to talk about the gerrymandering fight that's happening right now. We know that the Supreme Court struck down, or the Virginia Supreme Court struck down the ridiculous map that they drew in Virginia. And Tennessee was just able to redraw their map because the Supreme Court struck down the provisions of the Voting Rights Act that they were using to they were using to draw districts based on race. And the Supreme Court said, you can't do that. So Tennessee, just like I said, redrew their map, and they lost their minds. Justin Pearson is a left-wing representative. I don't know how he got elected, honestly. Well, actually, maybe I do, because there is I mentioned this on in the chat on BZ's show the other day. I'm going to show you a clip of Justin Pearson when he was in college and an aspiring politician, I guess, and what he has devolved into. And it's side by side, so you'll be able to see. And it's not just the look. So let's check this out.
Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Boone Democrats to the Boone Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle.
Here, you've had 3 strikes laws, mass incarceration, denied us of who we are, and we are still here. And today, you'll take the only majority black district from us. But I want you to know, and I want my nephew, sons, and the future to know, no matter what you do, no matter how much you...
Anyway, it goes on. Same guy. Same guy. So which one is the real Justin Pearson and which one is the mask? I think, and I've gone back and forth, but I actually think that the real one is the kid in college who hadn't yet been indoctrinated with all kinds of left-wing propaganda. I think that's the real one, or I think that was the real one. I think the guy in the kente cloth or whatever this is now, I think that's who he is now because he was indoctrinated in college. But there was another clip of him after the vote, and I'm sure you've seen this. But I want to play it, and then I want to come at it from a somewhat different angle, or at least an angle that I haven't quite heard yet. I'm sure other people have said it, but let's go ahead and listen to this.
my brother go. I'll walk him out. Y'all going? Let go. Let go, sir. Now you got me all tied up. Now you got me all tied up. My brother ain't doing nothing to nobody. He ain't doing nothing to nobody. You don't walk out like yourself. Move the back. Boy!
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if someone like Mike Lee or Mike Johnson or any conservative said to a black cop, called them boy? Can you imagine the outcry? Can you imagine? It would be absolutely insane. It would be insane. And that right there tells you who really has the privilege in this country. Because he can get away with that. He's not going to hear another word about that. He's not going to go on any conservative podcast or he's not going to go on Newsmax or Fox and get questioned about that. He's going to get away with it. But he wouldn't get away with it if he was white and the cop was black. I guarantee you that. And so the privilege really only goes one way, and it's not the way that the left would have you think. But that was in response to the gerrymandering fight. And I want to talk about that real quick, because we only got a few minutes left. And gerrymandering has been going on for a very long time. And the left will tell you that this fight that we're having right now is all because of the president telling the Texas legislature to redraw the map. Texas was responding to a directive from the DOJ that said that they had to redraw certain districts because they had been drawn based on race. That's what started it. And then the president, obviously, he said what he said, and that's what they seized on, because if he hadn't have said that, there wouldn't be anything that they could have said, because the districts were drawn in a racist manner. And so now we have this tit for tat thing. And actually, you know what? I want to play that first, because this is going to tell you everything that you need to know about what's really going on.
It's wrong. And let's also agree that they won't be changing it. And let's also agree it's time for tit for tat. I know you say you don't want tit for tat. I support tit for tat. If the
What's the problem? We're not going to resolve anything.
Oh, no, it's okay. But you guys want to go there, so let's go there. Let's tit for tat. And with Representative Pearson, the energy that he brought today, and I put it out on my social media, everybody was loving it. They're not going to change it. So crying about it's not going to make a difference. California's going to make up the difference. Virginia's going to make up the difference. Organizing voters, Democrats need to flip the House and need to expand the Supreme Court, because that's what this is about.
And there it is. It's not about votes. It's not about representation. It's about power and control, as it always is. And she just said it. What's her name? Taslin something. I can't remember her name. She just said it's about taking control of the House, taking control of the Senate, expanding the Supreme Court. That is all about Democrats, leftists, getting and retaining power. Plain and simple. That's it. And she said the quiet part out loud, as it were. And I mean, I don't know if she meant to say the quiet part out loud, but I'll give her points for honesty. Because whenever a conservative says that's what it's about, well, that's a conspiracy theory. She just said it. Now, what are the chances somebody asks her about it and she says, oh, I misspoke? It's out of context. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. But the other thing I wanted to bring your attention to, we talk about how Massachusetts, New England, all of them have zero Republican representation, despite the fact that they all have between 30 and 40% Republican voting. But I want to take a look at this real quick before we go. I actually wanted to get into something else, but we're not going to have time. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this. This is Massachusetts. Zero Republican representatives in the state of Massachusetts. Yet they voted for Donald Trump at 36%. And not a single Republican representative. Massachusetts is more blue, is more red than Tennessee is blue. Tennessee only voted for Harris by 34.5%. And they actually had a representative, a leftist representative. Because this southwest corner is Memphis, Justin Pearson's district. Oh, no, that's not his district. I don't think. I don't recall exactly. No, because this district is represented by the white guy who was eating fried chicken on the floor. Yeah, him. And now it looks like a Black woman is going to be the representative for that district, a Republican Black woman. It's not, like I said, it's not about representation. It's about power and control. That is it, and we are just about out of time. So we're gonna leave it there. But I want to thank you all for being here. I am Big E, and you just watched or listened to the Mission Ready Men Weekend Debrief on the SHR Media Network. And you can catch our great lineup here. Sackhead Sean with the Edge of Liberty every Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, excuse me. Jersey Joe, the Reaver of Common Sense, every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. BZ in the Berserk Bobcat Saloon every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And Lyle Armstrong with Beer and Bullstein every Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And just as a reminder, we are here every Saturday with the Mission Ready Men Weekend Debrief at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we will be taking the show, the Tuesday and Thursday show, to that same time slot starting on May 19th. So please be sure to like and subscribe and share all of those great shows and help us get a major breakthrough during this midterm election season. All right, y'all, that is it for me. We are not just here to fill the air, but we're here to equip Christian men, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, and carry the banner of faith, freedom, and hope into the next generation. If anything that we said here today matters, please don't just watch, share it, bring another guy into this fight. And if you want to wear what you stand for, head over to missionreadymen.com, click Shop 7 Armors, and check out all of the great designs that we have there, like this commemorative hat for our 250th anniversary, along with this shirt. It's kind of hidden by the microphone, but these designs and a bunch of other ones are there as well. And while you're there, hit up the SHR shop and check out all of the designs for all the different shows and all of the merch that we have there as well. And remember, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away, but the Lord is right there with you. So keep your prayers going up and your head on a swivel. God bless.